Hey guys, Zen here, and the next season of Rainbow Six Siege will be released within the next week or so, and so in this video, I wanted to circle back and go over 5 new things you can expect to be coming with the brand new update. Now, if you're someone new, this video is for you, and hopefully it gets you ready for the next season. If you're loyal and you've kept up with all the news, then I hope you find this refreshing. To be honest, this season is actually fairly light on big new features, but I managed to dig up 5, and so let's start this list. Really quickly guys, it is the holiday season, and also the last season of year 4, and so I wanted to put you guys on to this video's sponsor, Opinion Outpost. If you guys are looking to get some extra cash or gift cards for the holidays, check out Opinion Outpost. It's really easy. All you've got to do is take some surveys, and just by giving your opinion, you can cash out on some Amazon gift cards. Now, if you guys click my link at the top of the description, you can start earning free cash, and they also pay out directly through PayPal, so it's super simple. I've tried it myself. Yes, it does work, and so if you're interested, take a look. And of course, thank you to Opinion Outpost for sponsoring the video. All right, so let's start this list off with the new repel exit feature. Now, for those of you who haven't been in the test server, once the new season is released, you'll default to this new feature. How it works is that as an attacker, after you repel, once you get to the top of the building, instead of just forcing you over the ledge, it'll give you the option to clamber up and go on over. Now, this is a really welcome change, and mainly it's because it makes upside down repelling much more consistent. Upside down repelling can be one of the deadliest tools available for the attacking side because it is probably the most challenging shot a defender can take. It makes your head a tiny target, and I mean, you guys get it, but it's been a fairly advanced tactic because if you slip just a little bit and go up just a little too much, it'll automatically force you over the top and can mess up your positioning. Now that you have to force the animation manually, it makes it really easy to know when you're as far as you'll go on the building, and you know that at that point, you're at the peak of the window and you have the advantage. Now, I'm not trying to overcomplicate anything, but I honestly believe it was this skill, the upside down repelling, that took me from gold to platinum. Once you get it down, you'll be surprised how many windows this is effective on and how many more kills you'll get on defenders who just aren't prepared for it. Even without being upside down, this makes things so much more comfortable, and it's one of those things that you never really knew you needed until you have it. Going back to the live game without it feels super different, and so it's definitely something I wanted to mention here. Next up, at number 2, we have some casual playlist changes. Altogether, we have a name change to Quick Match, so no longer will the casual name exist. I suppose only in spirit, really. Also, it'll now act like ranked, where you'll only swap once per match, meaning you'll either attack twice and then swap, or defend twice and swap. You won't rotate back and forth like you do now. So this is a great change. It really is just a small quality of life change, but I think it'll help transition people over to ranked when it's time much better. Since the very beginning, casual and ranked have been two completely different beasts. Basically, you play casual to mess around. Honestly, throughout time, if you're not messing around and recruit rushing in casual, you're probably doing it wrong. And then ranked is to sweat. Now, I don't think Quick Match is going to all of a sudden lose its casual appeal, but unranked has almost no population and queue times can be ridiculous. So it's possible Ubisoft wants to kind of pull that out and make these slight adjustments to casual to kind of compensate. I still think unranked is necessary because it still forces you to complete the match and sanctions you if you don't, which is a lesson that all ranked players should learn. Moving on to number 3 here, it's the new limb penetration system. So basically since the beginning, this entire time, you could have been robbed of your headshots. If you guys didn't know by now, if you have an enemy disoriented and they have their arms up in front of their face, even if you're firing head level, you won't get the headshot. It still only counts as body damage. With this new system in place, those shots will register as a headshot because now the bullet will actually penetrate through those limbs. Now, this won't work with every weapon. It's more specific to DMRs, weapons like Kaid's TCSG, and of course, Kali's new CSRX sniper. Fast fire rate SMGs will still need to actually hit the head for the headshot to count, but I think this is a big buff to those marksmans out there. This has definitely been one of those reasons that DMRs aren't as consistent in the game because it requires you to take such a high risk with each shot that those headshots matter. And so with this limb penetration system, you'll be able to kind of have this 1-2 punch of flashing out, and then regardless of really what's going on the enemy side, if you are aiming at their head, you'll get that shot. So it really doesn't matter that their hands are up, and I think this is a really positive change for those weapons in particular. Number 4 on the list is the Vulcan graphics API. So yeah, this one is more on the back end, but it might actually have the biggest effect on a case-by-case basis. Ultimately, it's much deeper, but just to give it to you clean, it's making certain graphics settings dynamic so that with all the different hardware out there, the game should run smoother across the board. dynamic texture for less CPU load, and dynamic resolution for less GPU load. Now, in the test server, it actually made the game unplayable, and so they removed it, but actually recently they started testing it again, and it seems to be working. This change is all about better performance, and when the next season launches, it could actually allow more players to play the game, and those on lesser hardware should see the biggest difference here. The game is getting large, like each one of these updates on the test server is 6 gigs or so. It's just becoming a really big game, and so optimizing the performance of the game and making it more accessible on all kinds of hardware is really important. And so I think this is one of those changes that doesn't have a direct impact visually. It's not something super flashy, but I think overall it will make a big difference and allow more people to enjoy the game, which is a good thing. Finally, guys, we have 2 smaller updates for the 5th and final, and that's new voices for both Mira and Hibana, and also an operator price decrease, as there is each year for season 4. So for those of you who don't know, both Mira and Hibana's voice actresses have been changed to better support the long term of the game. As you guys know, Siege is a live game and new things are always being added, so naturally new voice lines need to pair with it, and so Ubisoft made this change. In the game, it is fairly subtle, but there are those players that will miss the old performers, and I have heard feedback that some people prefer the old performers, so we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe Ubisoft might be able to get them back in the game if this is something the community isn't a big fan of. Then of course, as the years go by, previous year's ops get cheaper. So now you can get Hibana and Echo for 10k renown or 240 R6 credits, Vigil, Dokubi, and Zofia for 15,000 renown or 360 R6 credits, and Kaid and Nomad for 20k renown or 480 R6 credits. This is a way to help those of you without the complete operator album to make things cheaper and a little quicker to achieve, and I hope you do. Kaid will be phenomenal in season 4. But that's it, guys. 5 new features coming with Operation Shifting Tides. Now that we're all caught up, I just want to take the time to thank you guys for sticking with me and being so supportive. It really goes a long way, and I appreciate the community we've got here. Of course, now I want to hear from you guys. What new feature are you most excited for in the next season of Rainbow Six Siege? And if you don't care or already know everything, what's 777 times 522 plus your birth year? Leave your answer and everything else in a comment down below. If you guys did enjoy this video, please drop a like and subscribe with notifications if you're new. With that being said, it's been Zen. Thanks for watching. I'm out.